All right, I got the thumbs up from Eddie. So here we go on a Wet Monday podcast. Al, what's up, man?
Oh, hi there, Jerry. I put out a call for questions. We haven't done a Q&A.
I
Alan,
like the
Jerry,
Q&A.
Someone had suggested it the other day.
All right.
I was looking at my list of topics, a little weak for today. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do a Q&A. And I went through some of these and favorited them.
Okay, I do have a couple of things from the weekend I will get to later.
Oh, okay. Fair enough, Jerry. Let's see. I probably should have organized these. But I'll throw a few of these out here. We don't have to spend a lot of time on each.
No, whatever.
We could bang through these. Do family members, this comes from Bob Jones.
Bob Jones.
Do family members, girlfriends, wives listen regularly?
No.
Do they ever get upset by what you share on air?
No, I've never had that. My wife used to listen a lot because of her work schedule. Now her commute is much shorter than it used to be. So I don't think she listens for more than 10 minutes a day because she's at work. And when she's getting ready, I know she'll put it on the TV, but I don't know how much she's paying attention to it if she's taking a shower and getting ready for work. So that said, she's never once ever questioned any subject matter or material we've talked about.
I remember there was one time, and I don't remember the specifics, but there was one time when Craig said something that really upset Gina. And she was very upset about it. About something about me. I really don't recall what it was.
Yeah.
And she's like, he should apologize. I said to her, I go, do you know if I approached Craig about this? Gina's very upset about it. He's not even going to remember what he said.
Correct.
It doesn't mean anything to him. He's just
doing a show, saying
things on the radio. Like, he'll be upset that he's upset you and not knowing what he even said to upset you. So I think over time, and all of the wives/girlfriends have been around now for many years, it becomes less interesting to them. I think early on, if you have a new girlfriend, a new wife, they're, oh, what is this?
It's very new and exciting.
Then they will get annoyed by something inevitably that you share.
Yeah. I would say my mom gets annoyed even to this day, probably still.
Yeah.
To certain things, even if it's not like about me. She watches a lot, in retirement, and my dad watches. My dad doesn't seem to care about anything. Whatever, everything rolls off his shoulder. But things will bother her.
Yeah.
I always try to tell her, that's a show, Ma. Like, just move on. I've already have. Not a big deal.
I think, my mom listens as well or watches, but she has had so many years of listening to Howard Stern when she was recording Howard Stern shows for me.
Yeah.
That she's used to the
shenanigans.
The shenanigans of it.
Yeah.
All right, let me get another one here.
That's a good question, though. Bob Jones.
All right, Bob Jones checking in. Rob Miller checking in, Jerry. What's the longest you would drive to go to a regular Saturday night dinner? Like, what's too far of a drive just to grab dinner? It's not a special occasion. It's just a Saturday night.
I would have to ask this question.
Yeah.
Is it a group setting or is it just you and your girlfriend or wife?
Just you and your girlfriend or wife.
I'm not going more than 15 minutes. It's too long of a drive for dinner. Like, I don't even want to go. And we do. Sometimes I'm like, Red Bank is like 15 minutes from me. Not even. Sometimes like, why are we going to Red Bank for dinner? Now, if we're going out with our friends, I don't mind. I'll drive.
That's different.
I'll go to Asbury Park or Long Branch, or I don't care. Especially if you're meeting friends from a different area, meet in the middle somewhere. That's okay. It's just me and Kim. 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think I would go 20 minutes if I'm so bored with the regular places near me that I'm going to go try something else. I would give that a shot.
Are you ever, because this happens to me a lot, when someone will mention a restaurant that I have never heard of, and it's literally within 10 minutes of where I live. And I'll sit there and say, well, you know what? Their marketing and advertising is terrible. If I'm their audience or who they're trying to get in, and I've never heard of them.
Or what about there's ones that you've heard of, but still for whatever reason, never even tried them? That's another thing I run into.
There have definitely been a couple of those for sure. I mean, in some cases, it's because you can never get a reservation.
Yeah, that's
true.
And
I've given up trying. In other cases, I don't know why. I just haven't. And I'm always looking for a new place.
Yeah, sometimes I'll see, like, you ever look at when the restaurants will have like a dollar symbol near it? Like $1 means cheaper meals, $2. There's a couple where I've looked and it'd be like $4 signs. I'm like, I'm not going there.
Too expensive, Al. You cheapo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
that'll
don't.
keep me away.
That doesn't bother me as much. I will tell you, I was quite. Um, one of the things you and I have talked about when you're discussing going to a new restaurant is if you've already got 5 or 6 that you like. I like trying new places, but man, when you go to a new place and it ain't good, you
Sucks.
really feel like you wasted a night
Yeah.
and money
Yes,
and money.
I agree. Jay Diesel asks, in your opinion, what is the best way to save some cash? Like Jerry, I'm a spender, but not a saver. Any tips?
Yes, automate something to some, even if it's, this is the one thing I learned years ago, even if it's only something as simple as $20 a week, automate something to automatically invest or be put away to something you really don't have access to.
Yeah.
Because I found when we first got married or even before then, you have a savings account. But if you've got bills and got no money in the checking account, like what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You go to the savings account. But if you automate a certain number that's going to go to an investment account, it's not that easy to pull that money out. And
No.
it takes it's a bit of a process.
Yeah,
You'll
that's the
leave it.
thing. I think if you can automate it into an investment account,
Mhm.
like if you could do 401k through your work, that
Sure.
comes out of your paycheck before you see it.
Yeah.
And it's pre-tax, so you're not. You got to automatically do that, and you can't come up with an excuse all the time to stop doing it.
Correct.
You know what? I'm going to get this car, and I'm not going to do it for 3 years. But after 3 years, I'm going to start again. You can't do that.
And that's why I say too, pick a number that you won't even feel. Meaning, I think everyone wants to say, I'm going to save 2,500 a month into this account.
Yeah,
But
not
life is
realistic.
really expensive. All right, so let's start small. Let's start with, if I told you you're going to save $17.50 a week. I mean, what is that? That's not even a tank of gas. You wouldn't feel it. Yet that would be $70 a month if you did that. And it's a little more if you times 52 weeks. And if all of a sudden you realize you're not really even feeling the 1750, go in, up it to $23 a week. All of a sudden you're saving $100 a month. Not a lot. I get that. But as time goes, you continue to up it until you get to a point where I'm like, all right, you know what? This is starting to become like too much. Then you back it down a little bit. But I think that's the easiest way to, it's almost like save it and forget it,
Yes.
but make it a number that you're not going to feel.
Set it and forget it.
Yes.
This is a guy, just his name is Oh the Pain.
Oh, Joe's popping in.
Yeah. Are you guys worried or concerned that the show will slip after Eddie's retirement? Show is great, but boy, he is a very important part of it.
Huge.
His timing on those drops is great. I love the post-game podcast, especially when you talk about real life finances. Cause shit, it's hard out here.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it
That
is.
guy cursed. And I only cursed because I was reading his
You were reading
thing.
the quote.
Yes, I mean, I think Eddie's contribution is hilarious.
I agree.
And I think when Eddie's gone for a week in the summer, it is noticeable.
I will tell you that when I love everybody that fills in, I'm not, no knock on anybody, but this is more about him. When I do a lot of shows in the summertime, a lot of shows when both the guys are out, when you're out, and I automatically go and look who's the board op. And when I see Eddie's out, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
like that is it. Just you lose an element of the show. Now, some guys have tried. I think Zoo has done a good job trying to hit some sound, at the right time. I think there have been people that have done a decent job, but no one's him, and no one's as fast as him, and no one has the library that he has,
And knows where he's put all these sounds and what he's
and how fast he does it.
put them under, like what's he
Yeah.
got them labeled as to find them. And that's
It's really something. And I've said this many times. I could make every case he should be the highest paid person. I mean, what he does is very unique.
Yeah, I mean, I think Fred on the Howard Stern show Fred's been there the whole time.
Right.
That Howard's been there. So it's a huge important part of the program.
Sure is.
And it's an interesting way to do it is like while Eddie does talk on the show, that really is his voice on the show.
Correct. He talks with his
drops.
fingers.
Talks with his fingers.
Hey, there's no doubt about it. I'm going to miss Eddie.
You will.
I am. Like there's something about walking in here every day, and he's here already, and he's kind of got his day going, and there's a peacefulness to him. He has his temper. Not many people have seen it, But for the most part, 95% of Eddie is about as nice a person as you will find. I'm gonna miss him being around here,
Absolutely.
gardening every day, doing nothing.
Michael Rossetti checking in, Jerry. How would you compare the influence of Imus and Howard Stern when they were both in their primes on terrestrial radio? They seemed to cater to different audiences, but both had huge followings.
I don't really know what the question is.
How would you compare their influences?
Meaning what influenced them or how they influenced the next group of
I think how
broadcasters?
they influenced, maybe just how they got an audience.
I have no idea. I mean, I don't, I'm too young to know when Imus was big on NBC on 660 WNBC. I don't remember any of that. I only started listening to Imus because I was listening to this radio station. So I have no idea. And the same way, the only thing about Stern is the movie. That's how I learned about Stern moving up through the ranks. I always am blown away by if the movie is, and you would know this better than me, clearly.
Okay.
If the movie is a real representation of the way he did things and the way word of mouth spread and he became this larger than life figure on the radio, it's amazing to me how difficult that's become to do again. Like no one has been him.
Yeah. I think one of the differences is that I think Imus's ratings in no different than our ratings, right? When we look at the Boomer and Geo ratings or anybody who's on WFAN, we are looking at the men 25 to 54 number,
Right. Not the overall ratings.
not the overall.
Right.
And Imus had good numbers in men 25
Correct.
to 54.
And build out a fortune.
Yeah. Howard, I believe, had overall ratings
Right.
in all the categories where it was really for the longest time, it was like Howard would win a ratings book, 10-10 wins would Howard 10-10 win. So I think Howard had a larger audience overall.
Sure.
So I think that's I think that's something that I think Imus was more specific to men in their 40s
Yeah.
and 50s,
And
probably
60s.
in the same way our radio station and Boomer and Geo show is.
Do you think if Stern, I've asked you this before, do you think if Stern came back to regular, I know he's not, but if he came back to regular radio, he would be anywhere near, I'm
No.
not saying as successful, anywhere close?
No, I think it'd be a complete disaster.
Yeah. It's just
And
different.
he would never do that. I don't think he would ever put himself in a position.
Well, at 72 years old,
Yeah.
he shouldn't.
Right.
There's no reason to at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah. I don't think it would even be, it'd be impossible to go back into what he was
For sure.
doing. Like
Yeah.
he just doesn't do that. Like if you put his current show on
You can't.
regular radio,
The amount of cursing.
even if it wasn't the cursing, the content, like you can't talk to Barbara Streisand for an hour. People on the radio are not going to listen to that. They're just not.
No, well, it's
So he went to a place since 2006, and we're going to be in 2026 in a few months.
Yeah.
So almost 20
long
years.
time.
Where you never hear a peep about how many people. You can hear numbers. Oh, Howard has 40 billion listeners, or you hear Howard's down to 100 listeners now. We have no idea,
Right.
because they don't tell us, and no one reports on it.
All true.
All true. What is the hard? This is Joe Williams. What is the hardest part of doing your jobs in the public eye? Would you make the same decision looking back on it now?
What a wonderful question, actually.
Hmm.
Because when I first started doing this, there was no social media. There was no constant berating for nothing more than the way you look,
Yeah.
the sound of your voice, or God forbid you get a score wrong once in a 6-hour shift. I have a son who's 21 who is contemplating getting into this business. He's grown up with social media, so I don't know that he cares all that much about it. But here's what I would say. I wish I got into play-by-play earlier and would have had more of an opportunity to do that full time if I'm looking back. That having been said, I'm pretty fortunate with the way things have gone, and I don't know Other than wanting to do more games, I don't know that I changed too much else.
I think one of the reasons why I got into radio, maybe you did too, was that there was no visual to it. Like, there was
True.
something
It was
mysterious
very
about it,
cool.
right? It was very mysterious as to, like, these guys I'm hearing on my radio, where are they?
Yeah.
Where are they sitting? What does it look
Yep.
like? These people they're talking to, what do they look like? We talk about you were an Imus fan,
Yeah.
I was a Howard fan. Howard and Imus eventually got their radio shows put on television,
Mhm.
but they did many, many years without it. And every once in a while, there'd be like a clip from on the news or
And it was so
something.
cool.
You're like, wait, wait. And it'd be so quick. Oh, I didn't, what's that studio? Oh, it looks much smaller than I thought. Oh, that's what Robin looks like.
Yeah.
Oh,
There was a mystique about it.
a mystique about it. And if you got a peek into that mystique, it was quick.
I've always said when I went on C-SPAN for the one day, I've taped it and I could not wait to get home. I think it was in high school, if not 8th grade, something like that. I couldn't wait to get home to see what it looked like.
Yeah.
And I was locked in for the full 4 hours. And I thought it was the most, and then it was gone until he wound up on MSNBC.
Yeah.
But you're 100% right. The mystique of the radio and the show was just something that I thought was awesome.
And that probably was some reason why we liked it and wanted to get into it.
That's probably true.
But you got into it more for the sports or more for the radio?
The sports.
The sports.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I wanted to be, and obviously getting married changed the equation for me. But when I first wanted to get into radio, I wanted to do baseball play-by-play. Like, I wanted to be the Mets or the Yankees broadcaster. That was the goal as a 13-year-old or as a 12-year-old. I wanted to become the Devils broadcaster. Like, those were the 2 things I wanted to do. I wanted to do baseball or I wanted to do hockey. And ironically, I ended up doing basketball and football. The baseball thing to me ended as soon as not even when I got married, but once my older son was born. And there was a time, I've told you this too, when it was Susan had moved on from being the beat reporter at FAN and Sweeney had the job. So Susan went to the Yes Network when Yes first came out. I think it was 1 year she did Yes, maybe 2 before Kim Jones took over, and she went back to the radio to be the analyst with John. So Susan moved on. They gave Sweeney the Yankee beat reporter job. A year or 2 into that, and so now we're talking like 99, I think it was, right around there, 98, 99, 2000. No, my son was, it was 2004 because my son was just born. In 2004 or 5, Sweeney had an opportunity to go work in Philly and was really contemplating leaving the Yankee job. And I remember having a conversation with Eric Spitz and Mark Chernoff about wanting to take over the Yankee beat if Sweeney left. Man, my wife and I had a very long conversation. When I laid it out, you're never home. And I ultimately remember told him if he leaves, I'm not interested. And that was kind of when I realized I'm never doing baseball.
Yeah.
Not as a dad, and didn't want to do it.
Yeah, season's too long. You're on the road for way too
much. You're not
dates
home.
and for many days straight.
Yeah, and and you add in spring training in February. It's if the Yankees are in October, the season doesn't end. They're
They
always in
even
the
sent
World
them down to
Series.
the winter meetings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're just not home.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get into it and I didn't want to be a beat reporter either, by the way, but it was a good job and paid well. I wanted to be a baseball play-by-play guy. That's why I really was getting into it. And then when I caught on to Imus, I'm like, I want to do what Breen does. That's fun.
Yeah.
It just seemed entertaining,
What were the items you had to start here? You said, I have 2 items.
I did. So this one kind of annoyed me. It's one thing when you go in and you go into a bagel shop and you've got a lot of bagel shops early in the morning. They have like the 20-year-old girls, the college girls that are there, and they've got the tip jar out. We've talked about this before. It's another thing, though, when the tip jar is out and it's nothing but like probably the owner of the place and adults. Can we get rid of the tip jar?
Yes.
And then on top of that, and I don't use credit cards or debit cards ever at the bagel shop, but I did this weekend because I bought a couple of other things. They have the tip line on the thing.
Yeah.
Now, this one didn't have a receipt. It was the guy saying to me on the screen, he goes, "Hey, if you'd like to add a tip." I'm like, add a tip? Well, you didn't do anything. You went and grabbed 6 bagels, put them in a brown bag. I grabbed everything else. This is not a new conversation. the tipping has gotten to be ridiculous.
Yeah, I always heard that you should never tip an owner of the business, right? So
I guess
if the bagel owner is the guy doing that would never get a tip.
right. I wouldn't know who the owner is though, because they were all in their 40s and 50s.
Yeah, I'm trying to do more like paying cash for things so that
You just go,
or I can leave like $1 versus 20%.
oh, sure,
You
of
know what I
course.
mean?
The other
Which is
thing
what they
too
want.
is, how about when you do leave a tip? There's no thank you.
No,
I
thank you,
want to
right.
take the tip back.
Yeah, it's a given.
I mean, it really bothered me.
Yeah, I want
That
an over the top. Well, thank you so much.
I don't even need an over the top, just an acknowledgement that you did tip the person. And then I'm going to continue to ask this question because I thought of it this morning. Why we don't tip the gasoline people? I felt terrible. I knew Friday I needed to get gas. I was not aware of this storm coming, to be quite honest with you, until Saturday. But I didn't get back on my car again until this morning. As soon as I got it, I'm like, crap, I've got to stop and get gas. And the wind was blowing 50 miles an hour and the rain is coming sideways. I felt so bad for the guy that also wanted to talk a lot. And it was a debit card. And I ultimately didn't give him a tip. But, the ones that they wash your windshield, they ask you how you're doing, and anything else, and we don't give these guys a tip.
No. And in fact, when we're the only state, New Jersey, left
Right.
that you get your gas pumped for you. A lot of the people in other states assume we do tip the gas station attendants,
Yeah.
and we really don't.
No, we don't.
I'm actually surprised that there's not a thing now, like when you pay credit card, they go, "Would you like to add a tip?" I
It's
want. How is
coming.
that not coming
I
yet?
don't know. It has to be soon. I have no idea. I do give a tip when they do the windows. Not many guys do it
Very
anymore,
rare. Very rare.
but there is one place by me that if there's no one else there and they're just 100%, they almost all the time, they do both the front and the back. I will always give them like $3.
Yeah.
That to
But
me is
that's
going the
nice.
extra mile.
That is going the extra mile.
It's very nice.
It's
I
nice to get a
appreciate
clean
that.
windshield.
I agree.
Yeah, it is surprising that they haven't worked that into the computer system yet.
Yeah. Crazy. And then the last thing. So I like Casamigos. I like 818 tequila. I think another one that's out there. The blue, I don't know the name of it. The blue and white bottle. It's a very cool, very expensive tequila. I've never bought it for myself, but it's been given to me on 2 occasions for my birthday. I'll tell you, I bought a cheaper tequila on Friday. Oof. It's you get what you pay for. When I say cheaper, so Casamigos for I think a fifth or it might be a liter, I don't know, and not just the Blanco, not the other ones. $72 a bottle.
Damn.
Like, holy crap, that's a lot of money for a bottle of liquor.
Sure
I'm like, yeah,
is.
I'm like, all right, well, let me get the 818. They were out of that one. I'm like, okay, I'm not getting that. I'm like, you know what? Let me try this one. And I'm not going to say the name. I don't disparage them. It was $44. It wasn't a $17 bottle, but it wasn't the $80 bottle.
Seems right middle of the road right there.
It tasted like butt.
But tequila.
You know what it tasted like? All kidding. It tasted like tequila that had cigarette smoke in it.
Mm.
It was awful. I'm like, what am I gonna do with this now? I don't want to drink this.
You got $44 butt tequila in your house now. The hell are you gonna do?
Al, it was
serve it to guests?
Terrible. I was so looking forward. I usually on Friday nights I have one drink. That's it. And now if I'm working on Sunday, specifically the play-by-play, I don't touch any alcohol on Saturday, and I try to eat as good as I can. And I have found my mind is a little sharper when I do that. So if I'm going to have a drink, it's Friday night. Man, what a disappointment when I took that first sip. I almost spit it out. Like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, but $44 for a bottle of tequila, it should not be butt tequila.
I agree.
$20 should
Made
be
me
butt
think,
tequila.
what is the $17 bottle of tequila like?
What does that taste like?
Oh my God, was it bad?
Yeah.
Oh well.
When I used to drink vodka, I would get the Belvedere.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a nice bottle.
Sure.
But it's smooth.
Not cheap.
Not cheap.
What do you do in this situation? So I love the golf club that I go to, and they have a cart girl that comes around on Fridays. So Friday afternoon. So my routine is pretty simple. I have one drink at the golf course, and then I have one drink at home. So she comes over. I asked for a Surfside, and they were out of them. Shocking. It's amazing how that thing just whatever. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll go with the transfusion. She goes, oh, would you like a single? And this girl's great. Single or double? I'm like, it's Friday. Give me a double. It's the first hole. I'm only having one. She didn't put anything in it. I know what it tastes like if there's tequila in it, and I do the transfusion with tequila. She left. I take a sip. I'm like, this is just ginger ale and grape juice. Like,
There was no alcohol in it?
no chance. What do you do? I didn't do anything because she's great, and she's been making drinks all summer. Like, she's really good. We were talking, and I think she just forgot to put the tequila in.
I would probably say, I don't think there's any tequila in this. I could
Why? But
barely
she already left. I would have had to have called her back
summoned her
out.
back. Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
a tough spot, right?
That is a tough spot.
So I enjoyed my ginger ale and grape juice.
And what'd that cost you?
$20.
Delicious.
What are you going to do?
All right, Jerry, let's do the warm-up show. We'll be back here tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, what do we got tomorrow? We got a couple NFL games tonight. Nothing exciting, though.
You're not going to stay up to watch the Dodgers and Brewers?
No, but if something like I will tell you that Saturday morning when I got up to have my coffee and I was reading all this about the Mariners game,
it was a great game.
I did put on the
highlights,
extended highlight package. That was cool.
It really was for me on a Friday night to sit there and watch almost all.
Cool.
I'm not going to lie, I fell asleep in the 13th inning. I was so mad.
Yeah, 15 innings.
It was great though. It was a lot of fun.
It was a very cool, and knowing that it was coming.
And also that it was do or die.
Yeah, do or die. All right, Jerry. Warm up next. See ya.